I want to ask this side, what is involved in conversion therapy and why do you feel that it should be practiced?
Well, I think it's important to state that what the governor did here, seeking to use his executive authority to ban conversion therapy, was a tremendous overreach. And we're certainly thankful that the General Assembly has taken action to rein that action in. But at its core, the other side can use terms like torture. That's not what we're talking about here. Go read the definition in the governor's executive order, and what we're talking about is a one-sided counseling ban. It would essentially say if you sought to counsel someone to affirm the reality of who they are, to affirm them in their biological sex, that you could lose your license. Likewise, you could counsel someone towards a gender transition, which is now actually illegal under SB 150. So the governor's counseling ban was a one-sided action. It suppresses free speech, it tramples religious freedom, and it tramples the rights of parents to seek out counseling that they desire for their children. I can't really think of another area of counseling where we would say that you can only counsel someone one way. That if a person, a child, or a parent desire to get counseling from someone suffering from a problem that they want to get help from, that we could only affirm them in what they're desiring to try to get help
if it's
from.
medical.
You are seeing across the world a radical pullback from transgender ideology, from pushing these types of treatments, from surgically, physically, chemically mutilating healthy bodies. You're seeing it across the United States. Kentucky and 23, maybe even more states have taken action to protect kids from being harmed in this manner. As was mentioned, President Trump has signed multiple executive orders, including an important one to protect our tax dollars. I believe Kentuckians were shocked when they found out that Governor Beshear was seeking to use our tax dollars to pay for transgender interventions in our prisons.
They not only weren't shocked, they didn't care.
And they also were shocked to find out that our tax dollars are being used in Medicaid, and the numbers that we're hearing could be up to 10,000.
Respectfully, David, I began receiving Medicaid coverage under Governor Bevin.
Okay. Kentuckians do not want their tax dollars spent paying for something that's not possible.
As a reminder,
it is not possible to transition from a man to a woman, from a boy to a girl. So our tax dollars should not be paying for it. Thankfully, the
just
General
as a
Assembly
reminder, and David,
has
as a
already taken action to protect our kids. If adults would like to take part in those procedures, they are free to do so, but our tax dollars should not pay for it. And so I think most Kentuckians will be overwhelmingly enthusiastic about these two pieces of legislation, and I suspect if the governor does indeed veto both, you will see the General Assembly enthusiastically take action to protect our tax dollars. The reason that the General Assembly has taken up these two bills is because of the outrageous actions of our governor. Signing an executive order.
That's incorrect, David.
Signing an executive order, essentially trying to put into law legislation that had repeatedly failed.
Taking action
and
because
that
the legislature
also
refused.
Was gaining less and less support each legislative session. So he desperately signed an executive order. And then, as we saw, essentially trying to secretly put a policy in place, not just to pay for gender transition medical procedures for those that are in prison,
It's never
but it does more than that.
David.
It does much more than that. It sets up a policy where prisoners can essentially decide for themselves what facility they want to be in. We heard
That's
from.
not true.
It's right in the policy. I can read it to you.
And where did that policy come from, David? Was that the Prison Rape Elimination Act, which is an act of Congress that's decades old?
It came from the Biden administration.
That's wrong.
We're very thankful that the Trump administration is reversing course and bringing sanity back into this issue. But the idea that the General Assembly was the one that forced these issues to have to come up this session is just not true. Read through this policy. It's very clear that that's the direction that the governor was pushing this Commonwealth to go. And as I said, there's many more concerns, including the issue of forcing those in our prison facilities and those correctional workers to have to use preferred pronouns and violate their free speech and religious liberty as well.
So once again, persecuted you are,
it is. We're talking about the actions that the General Assembly rightly took to rein in actions of our out-of-control governor. They took right actions to reverse course. The legislature is the one that should be making the laws in this Commonwealth, and they have every right to ensure that our tax dollars are protected.